Hey everyone, so I'm going to briefly talk about my thoughts and feelings on Avengers Endgame. Got to see it last night, and just a heads up, this is probably going to have spoilers for not only Endgame, but other MCU movies as well. So we get to open up with Hawkeye. My god, what a great way to open up the film. It's been a while since Avengers Infinity War, so getting to see the snap happen on such a smaller scale. Before we were in Wakanda, we saw thousands of people disappear. Now it's on a smaller scale. It's a man and his family, and you see him lose everything, and it really puts you in the emotional state that you need to be in to see this movie. So once we open, we kind of jump right back in. We get Tony Stark back to Earth, and then we jump right back into them confronting Thanos. And this is something that we've been waiting for ever since the last movie, right? How now that we have Captain Marvel in the universe with the remaining Avengers that we have, how are they going to take him on? And they do it very quickly. Like it's happening right away, and it was a very fulfilling scene, but very heartbreaking as well because you find out that the Infinity Stones, they're gone. He got rid of them. But you have really good dialogue between him and Nebula, and props out to Nebula because a character that I never cared about before. They made me love her in this movie, and I'm really interested to see where she goes moving forward. So he tells them that the stones are gone, and Thor chops his head off right there. Just something that we've been for a decade. This character has been slowly coming to kill them and succeeded, and then Thor just out of nowhere does it. It was my heart was beating that whole scene, and I could not. In no way did I know what was coming, and it was very satisfying to see, but very heartbreaking at the same time. So next we jump 5 years ahead, and I really liked this kind of chunk of seeing what happened because we've been thinking about it for since the last movie. What will the world look like if half the people were gone? And it showed us that a lot of people are struggling to move on. But I also thought it was kind of interesting that they put a couple seeds in there that, what, Thanos wasn't wrong. Whales are coming back to the harbor. There's less pollution. But the sort of message is what cost of getting those benefits. So Ant-Man comes back. He's rescued by a rat, which is one of my eye-rolling moments of this movie, but that's nitpicking. The movie's great. So once Ant-Man is back, it's really interesting to see him navigate the world, try to figure out what happened, kind of be the surrogate for us exploring things. He talks to the Avengers, and they decide, okay, time travel is going to be the thing, which again, I figured they'd use the reality cosmic realms in some way, but I didn't think it would actually be time travel. I thought they'd be able to find everybody trapped in a stone somewhere. But in the end, I was okay with how it worked. It wasn't too cheesy. It worked really well. So they have their plan. They start assembling the team. Tony Stark's not interested. He has a family now, which I thought came full circle for him. It was interesting to see him as a dad, and I think that character showing where he was in the first movie to where he is in this movie is a tremendous character arc. I know that Captain America is kind of like the symbolic leader of the Avengers in the MCU, but Tony Stark really is the one who his arc kind of represents the beginning and the end of the MCU. But he's not interested in helping them. They go and get Thor, which I was okay with fat, drunk Thor. It wasn't something I was upset with, but I wish that they doubled down on it because I found a lot of times Thor was upset, he was devastated, he was a broken man because of everything that happened. But then a lot of times that tension, that drama was undercut with, well, Thor's fat and drunk, so he's a slob and it's funny, haha. So I really, I get it. I get that's the humor in the MCU and the Star Wars and kind of Disney as an umbrella, and I'm fine with it, and I don't think it would have been appropriate to have like a really dark, angry, drunk Thor in this movie, but I wish that they would just kind of let things stay sometimes rather than always undercut it with a joke. But aesthetically, I thought it was really cool. I thought he kind of resembled the more mythological Thor a little bit. So seeing Thor is really cool as well. So once they get everyone together, they then go into the past. They go into kind of 3 different time areas. I thought the team upstairs were really cool. And I really loved that it really felt like an adventure, that this group was going out to find the stones, and it felt like a really fun adventure movie, them going out. And um, we had Hawkeye and Black Widow going to get the Soul Stone. And as you know from the last one, they had to get the Soul Stone, you have to lose what is most valuable to you. So they have a good friendship here, and I thought the movie did a really good job of showing that, you know what, Black Widow had a good relationship. She had friendship with Captain America, she had friendship with Bruce Banner, and she had friendship with Hawkeye. She really meant a lot to a lot of these guys, and not in a romantic sense, but just in a friendship sense. And I I really thought once they started doing the little like who's gonna jump, okay, now they're fighting to see who's gonna jump or not, that Red Skull was gonna like since both of you are fighting to let the other one live, you pass the test, and here's the soul gem, and neither of you have to die. I'm really, really glad that didn't happen. Not that I'm glad that I saw Black Widow die, but I think at this point in the MCU, something had to happen that gave it enough stakes and gave everything that we're building to weight. So when they're fighting back and forth, I'm really glad that it wasn't just here's the stone, you both get to live. The other thing that I was a little concerned about in this part too is the Nebula switch. Since the Nebula is kind of hooked up to Thanos' Wi-Fi, she's able to sync back and figure out that they're there from the future to try to stop him. And then there's a switch, so the bad Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy is then sent forward from the future. And I was really concerned about this. I didn't like that kind of trope, and I thought that that's going to be kind of the big gotcha thing at the end of the movies. They're going to bring everyone back, but Nebula's going to like do something that a couple people die or there's tragedy in some sense. But again, much like the time travel, they were able to do it in a way that I felt tremendously satisfied, and I shouldn't have been worried whatsoever because they did. And also during this kind of adventure phase, middle act of the movie, one of the moments that I found by far the most funny was what would be the intro Guardians of the Galaxy. You see Chris Pratt running around singing, kicking those rat things, and just having the time of his life. And you see Nebula and War Machine standing back and seeing him. And they don't have the music, right? They don't have the headphones on. They're not watching the movie. They're just watching this guy run around singing to himself. And that was by far legitimately one of the funniest parts of the movie to me. So everyone gets back. They come back from the past. They did it. They're able to do their own snap and bring everyone back. But at the same time, Bad Nebula brings Thanos' entire ship here, which is not what I thought was going to happen whatsoever. When I saw that, my heart just like, oh, we're gonna have another massive big battle. And I think this is really. As tremendous as the Infinity War battle was, it was split up. We had people out in space, and we had people in Wakanda fighting, but this was it. This was everyone, and I really can't think of a cinematic moment, a more satisfying movie battle that is. Just tremendously awesome, tremendously exciting, getting to see them all fight together. You could make a 20-minute video on this battle alone, but it is worth the movie ticket price to go and see that. It alone was fantastic. And then after the battle, clearly Thanos loses. Tony sacrifices himself to save everyone, and I thought it was really poetic. And one of the things I did call was that I was pretty sure Tony Stark was going to kind of die in Spider-Man's arms, the way that Spider-Man poofed in the last one. And I think that he did need to die, and I'm really happy that he was able to grow as a character, and I think he really punctuates the beginning and the end of this saga of films. With Captain America, I liked his as well. Again, these are kind of the two main pillars of the Avengers, and I think they both went out in the way that they needed to. And with that said, it was a tremendously exciting movie. I am excited to see it again. I think it will pair amazingly well with watching Avengers Infinity War back to back with Endgame, just because uh, Infinity Wars, it's boom, boom, boom. It hits you hard right from the beginning, and there's an epic battle. It feels like a 2 hour battle almost. And then right at the end, it punches you right in the gut. And then the beginning of this movie is you recovering from that gut punch, and then kind of building up to even bigger climax of the film. And I really don't think that anything like this will happen again anytime soon. It's been 22 movies, 11 years, just tremendous filmmaking, and it's really a important milestone in film. Like everything that Kevin Feige did, the Russo brothers, all the actors, everyone involved with making every one of these films. It really shows when you see some of the things that DC has tried to do, that this is something that just doesn't happen overnight, and it's I'm tremendously honored that like I get to have experienced it, because it was an experience watching that movie. So that was just kind of my brief thoughts on Avengers Infinity War. Sorry. So that was just my brief thoughts on Avengers Endgame. I didn't know if I should make this more of a discussion, more of a review. I'm going to try to make more videos discussing films. That's something that I love moving forward. This is probably a bad one to start with because it is 11 years in the making, 22 movies, and is a 3-hour film, which I think you could easily spend hours discussing. So thank you, everyone. See you next